I wanted to take a closer look at these blades by Freud and why they're red and what makes them so high quality. A lot of technical and engineering stuff goes into making a blade like this, so it's not just a simple blade, it's a high performance, high quality blade. And from start to finish, Freud actually make every component of this in-house in their plant in Italy, which means that from the very beginning they have full control over the design, the performance, and what the blade is going to be used for, what tool it's going to go into. And with its obvious glowing red coat finish on all parts of the saw blade, I wanted to see what components Freud have put into a blade like this to make it such high quality. And with the first standout part of this blade being that it's red all the way around, I wanted to see what makes these blades so efficient. So let's take a look at what you get from the packaging of these saw blades. The product comes in a plastic packaging with a little card inside showing all the technical data and information, with a point of interest on the PermaShield and the tungsten carbide teeth. I did also want to mention that Freud are now rolling out their cardboard packaging, so these are going to be recyclable as opposed to these plastic wallets which are not recyclable. Now the choice of red is not only because that is Freud's brand colour, but it's also part of the PermaShield coating that is on these blades, and it's nice to see that it's not just the face of the plate that has got this PermaShield coating on it, but it's also got the edges along each laser cut slot, all the gullies. Every single part of this blade, apart from the tungsten carbide teeth, has this PermaShield coating on it, so you have the entire plate body of this saw blade protected with the PermaShield. You'll also see on these Freud blades the laser cut slots. A saw blade doesn't act the same way that a knife would do. A knife, like a piece of cake, you would slice it and it would separate things exactly 50-50, but the saw blade, it actually removes a section of the material and creates a clear channel, and that excess material needs somewhere to go, and ideally it doesn't want to be circulated back into the cutting system. So Freud have put in these laser cut slots, and what that does is after your blade has made its turn and the material has gone against the plate of the body, the slots will also just give that extra little shunt to get the excess material out of the way, giving you a cleaner cut, and it's less likely to have excess material go back into the teeth system and then that could splay out your material. So it's almost like a fine blender after you've made your cut. And once it removes the material, it cuts it down into an even finer material. That material is a lot easier to get out of the way. As I mentioned, the teeth on the Freud blades are carbide, and carbide's really good for taking a lot of heat stress, and it can also keep a nice sharper edge for as long as possible, giving you that cleaner cut for as long as it can. The teeth also have alternating cut edges, and this helps you give a finer cut, reducing split out on the surfaces. And you can see that close up by the direction that each tooth goes. It alternates from left to right. This means that it's pushing out material in all directions and not just one specific direction. Okay, let's get on to why this is red. So as I mentioned earlier, the red is part of the PermaShield. And what is PermaShield? Now, the scientific name for the material that makes the PermaShield is polytetrafluoroethylene, and that was really difficult to pronounce, so I'm just going to be calling it PermaShield from now on. It's the same material used in non-stick frying pans, and it serves a very similar purpose. Its main focus is to take a lot of heat without damaging the structural body of the plate, and also stopping residue from sticking to it, and those two things are sorted once they add the PermaShield coating to it. And as I mentioned, it's not just the back and front of the blade, it's also every single edge behind every tooth and in between every laser cut slot. The PermaShield is covering the entire saw blade. The logo and technical information on the blade is laser etched in, including a detailed sketch on the angle and edge of the teeth, and ideally what sort of power tool this can be used in, be it cordless, corded, table saw, or small circular saw. But for some people, adding a layer on top of a saw blade can be a bit concerning, because that might make the plate thicker, which means that the teeth have to be thicker, that you have to remove a lot more material, that the saw blade is overworking. But surprisingly, with the Freud blades, the plate is only 1.4 millimeters thick, and the carbide teeth knock out at just about 2 millimeters thick, which means they only have a 0.3 millimeter overhang either side of the plate body, which makes it one of the thinnest blades on the shelf. But with all of this technical stuff added in, all this engineering and design, this is the highest quality blade you could possibly get Freud have actually focused on making a long-lasting, high-quality blade that you don't need to replace every other month. This will stay sharp for a lot longer than any other blade, and it has done for me. Really good quality, clean cut edges every single time. I don't think I've actually ever had to have one of these sharpened. There does come a point where it does become a little bit dull, but I've never had any teeth breaking off, I've never had any residue build up, I've never had any burn or friction marks along it, and the PermaShield holds up really well, especially against things like water and oil that you may find in some materials that can strip the coating. This doesn't do that. It's really good at staying as protected as possible for as long as possible. Now, they don't just offer wood blades, they offer blades for almost any sort of material that you're able to cut through with a circular saw. Laminate, Trespa, even aluminium on some of these blades. They have thought about different sizes for different tools, different teeth count, different teeth finish, and every single variable has been thought of through Freud, and they actually have a really big catalogue of different blades, where they can be used and what is best for the type of task that you're going to be performing. So I will put down below in the comments the link to their catalogue. If you're looking at getting a Freud blade, have a scroll through, because they definitely have something that will suit your needs. So thank you again for watching this video. Thank you, Freud, for sending me these blades to have a really nice close look at and use for my job. If you haven't liked this video yet, make sure you drop down there and give it a good thumbs up. Even subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'll even put my Instagram down below, and you can give me a follow there and stay up to date with the latest tool information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.